Hey, how are you doing? It's 8-Bit Eric. Welcome back to the channel. So, the PlayStation 5 launch is right around the corner. A lot of news, a lot of interviews and stuff are coming out, and it's very exciting. Sony has just discussed its plans for the first fiscal year of the PlayStation 5 in an interview. So, we're going to go ahead and talk about this. The CEO of PlayStation himself has set some pretty high expectations for the next console generation of the PlayStation. I'm stoked. I got my PlayStation 5 secured. Hopefully you guys did as well. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, if this is your first time coming here, click that red button down below to subscribe. Enable the bell notifications so you don't miss any of the headlines for the PlayStation 5 that I will be bringing straight to you on YouTube. So go ahead and hit that button and smash like while you're at it. Let's read this article from pushsquare.com. It says Sony expects PS5 to outsell PS4's first fiscal year. That's big. That's a big bar to go because a PlayStation 4, when it launched, that was some hot cakes right there. Hot cakes coming through. It says Sony is banking on some big PlayStation 5 sales in its first few months on the market as it aims to beat the PlayStation 4's first fiscal year. That is some huge margins to get. You know what? Hot take, I think they'll do it. With how in demand the PlayStation 5 pre-orders have been so far, I think they could do it. So it says the company's current-gen console sold 7 million units from its launch in November 2013 through the end of March 2014. I remember hearing about that. I remember some of my good friends like Alpha Omega Sin actually talked about that on video. That was pretty precedented. 8 million or 7 million units from November 13 to March 2014. That's pretty big. It says, but we know from past reports that the manufacturer may be planning to produce as many as 15 million next-gen consoles by the end of its existing fiscal year. And here is Daniel Ahmad, who is on Twitter as ZHugeEX. He tweeted out this information. This is what had this out. This was what Jim Ryan, the CEO of Sony, in a interview basically with Korean media, not Japanese media, says Jim Ryan, the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, said in an interview with Korean media that he expects PS5 to sell more in its first fiscal year than PS4. That's actually really big right there. Again, like I said, the PlayStation 4 had a very successful year and everything. You know, the first year that it had, I remember it was like such in demand. It was hard to find. People had trouble getting it. It was pure chaos. Sony went on record recently saying that they plan on having more units available during the launch year and during the launch window. So it's going to be interesting to see how they can do this. Again, pre-orders have come out just a couple weeks ago. I think 4 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Pre-orders came out of nowhere. They sold out online in minutes. People are just going crazy over this. eBay's going nuts. I've been covering it since that day, since that showcase, and we're a little over a month. As of right now, there's been random waves, not like official announced waves, but every once in a while people will find Target will have some, Best Buy will have some, Walmart will have some, and if you get lucky and you just periodically change your browser or refresh your browser, you might find one. But as far as having like official in-store pre-orders and stuff, GameStop tried to do one a couple weeks ago and it got chaotic. They didn't really have many in stock. So it's going to be interesting to see if between now, which is October 5th, to the launch date, which is November, to see what will happen. Now, speaking of pre-orders, this is for Korea. I don't know how many of you guys that watch this channel are living in Korea right now, but it says the second round of pre-orders for PS5 will open in Korea on October 7th at noon. Now, as of right now, I haven't seen any other news of any other countries or locations open up pre-orders. If you guys have any inside track or can let me know, please do. This is an article from news.naver.com, and this is basically talking about Korea, that the showcase was a sale, pre-order sales in Korea sold out quickly and worldwide, and that they had to apologize because they weren't expecting it. It's going to be released on November 12th in Korea, so it's one of those later date consoles that are left. So definitely they were assuring the people of Korea that they will be trying to get some more consoles out there. So if you guys want to read that read, I will link that as well. Continuing the thing, it says the organization, which is Sony, is hoping that with a strong launch lineup, it'll be able to sell through practically every unit it manufactures for the foreseeable future. So if they're going to try to do 15 million next-gen consoles by the end of its existing fiscal year, and they're planning on selling each and every single one of those, I think that's really realistic. It's big, lofty goals, but it's really realistic considering how quickly these pre-orders went through. I mean, it was outrageous. And you've seen the demand. I've seen you guys talking in the comments as well. It says, given the pent-up demand for the platform, with its marketing campaign still yet to really properly get underway, that's not an enormous ask. So, I mean, we really haven't seen that many official commercials. There's only been a handful of showcases. There hasn't really been any hands-on approach to, you know, showing officially from Sony, like the launch, you know, UI, the setup, things like that. We haven't really seen much about the controller. We've really just been hearing stuff from websites and media and journalists and stuff. And it's interesting enough that the marketing campaign really hasn't happened. I think Doritos is doing like a giveaway, but there's not much in way of commercials yet or anything like that. So it says it's worth remembering that Sony's coming off a dominant generation, and while COVID-19 means there may be less disposable income to throw around, many are spending more time at home than ever, and thus looking for new ways to stay entertained. This could be a gigantic year for PlayStation. Gigantic year indeed. So we're going to see, you know, when this marketing campaign, when Sony goes balls to the wall on promoting the PlayStation 5, you know, it might just happen. I think I have full faith that Sony is going to outsell the PlayStation 4 in its first fiscal year. This is actually physically possible. So 7 million units is what they had in the fiscal year, November 13th to March 2014. And they're planning on making 15 million next-gen consoles. I think that's plausible. They have the goal of selling all of those. I think Sony's going to do really good marketing this. I think they're going to have a lot of hype behind it. Already, that's behind it unofficially. I mean, me just talking about this console is driving a lot of people to here. So that shows just how interested people are, wanting to find out more in order to know what they're coming, you know, what's coming to the PlayStation 5. I think the launch lineup is solid. I know not everybody thinks it's going to be that great, but honestly, there's several games that I'm looking for. You know, I know people have debates on Godfall. I think that looks cool. I want to try out Returnal. I want to do, of course, Miles Morales and things like that. I'm honestly looking forward to it. I got mine secured. Sony, good luck. That's some big plans. 7 million units to beat. So what do you guys think about this? Do you think this is physically possible? Comment down. I'd love to know your thoughts on it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, enable that notification so you don't miss any updates that I will be bringing to you. Thanks a lot, guys. See ya.